As soon as the camera's pointing at you, we're good.
Come here, come here! How does it feel, Jared, to receive the Virtuoso Award from the Santa Barbara International Film Festival?
Oh, it's quite an honor. It's such a wonderful thing, unexpected. Really, it's really nice. I'm really happy to be here.
You've made some incredible transformations in your career. How did you go about finding Rayon?
Rayon was just a long journey, discovery, trying to find this beautiful soul and bring her to life and share her with the world. It was an absolute joy to represent her and the Rayons of the world in this really beautiful film.
I understand that you made this film in 25 days with no lighting kit.
Yeah.
In that kind of an atmosphere, did that help you find Rayon in the shadows?
I think it was great. It was a fast and furious shoot. It really lent itself to this kind of intense project. And so I appreciated the speed at which we did things. And, it was a wonderful, wonderful but challenging time.
Now, you met Matthew for the first time on the day of shooting. When you started shooting, is what I understand.
I met him on the last day of shooting, probably, or at the Toronto Film Festival. Yeah, I was kind of just self-contained, and Matthew and I were both there to work, and not to hang out and shoot the shit, as they say. But we were there to deliver, and we did everything that we could in order to focus and stay committed to the part. Yeah. Thank you.
What's the most rewarding part of being an actor for you?
I think the most important part is the ability to share my work with people, to contribute to something, and to be a part of meaningful stories like this. Thanks so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. It's been an honor.
One thing, you and I did an interview earlier today down in Los Angeles, and I learned one thing that really fascinated me, which is that you actually haven't watched this film. And is that something that you decide as a rule not to do with your work, or is there something particular to this film that you want to wait and watch it at a different time?
It's a part of the process that I don't really feel like I need to be a part of, I guess. If I was in the edit room, if I was directing the film, of course I'd be there and making editorial decisions. But for me, I think I was there on the set. I read the script. I know what happens, and it's good for me to kind of step away and give it some time. So generally, I don't stick around and watch it. One day I will. I'll take a look one day.
Am I correct in understanding that you actually didn't have that much time between getting this part and filming? And if that's true, how did you go about deciding basically what to prioritize as far as the limited amount of time you had to get ready for this part?
Well, you start at the beginning. And the beginning for me was meeting with transgender people, listening, learning. I had an interesting experience in my own personal life about a year or so before the script came my way. I was on tour with 30 Seconds to Mars, and I was doing a series of interviews with people all over the world, and I met some people at a mall in Louisville. This couple of young kids and their mom, and I was just really taken with them, and I asked if I could interview them at the show. They were excited to come to the show, so they came and I interviewed them, and it turns out that Daniel had been born a girl, and had been living his life as a boy for 8 or 9 months. He was 14 years old. And we had this really beautiful interview about some of the challenges, trials and tribulations, about exploring identity and gender. And that experience for me really helped to inform the choices I made. I think other actors may have played Rayon as a drag queen, someone who enjoyed putting on women's clothing, but to me, I thought it was an opportunity to put a different kind of character on screen. And, you follow your gut and your heart, and you do the best you can to make people proud and represent people with as much dignity as possible. And that's what I did for the Daniels of the world and for the Rands of the world. Of course, you can't make everyone happy, but you try your best. Thank you. I do want to dedicate this tonight to the late, great Philip Seymour Hoffman. A brave and fearless genius, someone who was a compass for all of us, and someone who will really be missed. So, to him.